Welcome back, guys. This week we're going to learn about the precise structure for psychological change. That's right. Change has a precise structure, and you know how I know that is because stories have a precise structure. Thanks to Joseph Campbell and the Monomyth here with 1,000 Faces. He said, what? All stories are the same. All myths are the same. They all have the same structure. But are stories just about the story? Are myths about the myths? What else are they about? They are about transformation. Otherwise, we wouldn't care about them. That's why we go see stupid Avengers movies, because we want to learn what we need to do to change. So if stories are about change and therapy is about change, I think we can come up with a structure, a monomyth, let's say, for therapy. And we can use this to develop a structure for therapy, which will make the change a lot more natural. I mean, if we know what plot points to hit and how to hit them, then the change, the therapy is going to be much better. So how do we diagram the monomyth, the hero's journey? Well, like a circle. And we have our line of consciousness. Everything below the line is unconscious. Everything above is conscious. We have a 4-act story. That is objectively the best way to split up a story. We have the first act here. This is the original state. We have the second act here. That is the hero conquers the outer challenge. There's some kind of behavior change here. And then the third act, the hero confronts the inner challenge, what caused the outer challenge in the first place. And then the fourth act is the return. And I think we can break therapy down in this exact structure. So what happens in the original state here? This is you with your problems. Whatever you think your problems are, this is the presenting problem. This is how it looks. I'll just say, this is just how the problem presents. Oh, I have a difficult time with my girlfriend. Oh, I can't talk with my mom. Oh, I have an issue with work. I have this money issue. And then we have this, the separation. I'll just say it like this. That's not secondary emotional payoff, another key psychological concept I talk about. In this video, that stands for separation. And what is the separation? Well, it's realizing that, wait, I'm not just this conscious being. I also have this unconscious. In fact, that's what was going on, how the problem presents as, as my mother-in-law, as my father, as difficulty with work, with my boss, with employees. How the problem presents is really a reflection of my psychology. It's a reflection of my unconscious, and we learn in Act 2 what? How to get honest. What we need to talk about. I guess I could write that in. What exactly to talk about. Now, if you come in with the presenting problem, the money problem, the mother-in-law problem, we do need to talk about that to some degree, but that's probably not the fundamental issue that you have. We got to learn what exactly to talk about. And what happens in modern therapy, where most therapists you go to, especially cognitive behavioral therapists, not so much Jungian analysts, is you'll never separate. What do you do instead of separate, actually? You validate, right? Just get validated. You come in and talk about your problem, you're with your money, and like, oh, the problem, yeah, we all have problems with our money. Let's just talk about this. Let's indirectly say how you're not really at fault. I mean, technically you're not at fault, but there's nothing about you that needs to change. It's just a release valve to come in, so you get validated. You don't really separate. You don't really see that your problems are a reflection of an unconscious issue. I mean, side point, you don't see how your problems are reflective of an unconscious issue in most therapy because most therapists don't know how our unconscious is structured. So how could they, even imagine bringing it down to an unconscious issue? And then a lot of therapists won't even tell you what to talk. Whatever you want to talk about is fine. Now, whatever you want to talk about, maybe fine at first, but I think there are key issues to talk about that a lot of therapists don't understand. And then what happens here at Act 3, the handling of the inner challenge, is we process the emotions. This is what to talk about, what emotions to talk about, and this would be how exactly to talk about it. Now, a lot of therapists will take you through this. They'll try to process emotions with you, but they're not going to teach you how to talk about emotions in the correct way. You're going to talk about emotions in a way that makes you look weak, that covertly you won't take responsibility for. You're going to be helpless with your emotions, or maybe more hostile with your emotions when it comes to anger. You make a destructive decision with these emotions. And so you're going to just feel weak. You're not going to feel good about it. You're not going to ultimately process the emotion. By process, I mean bringing the unconscious emotion conscious, seeing how it reflects in your life and how it's reflected in whatever the presenting problem was in Act 1 of the therapy monomyth. And then the final stage is the return, which almost no psychologist will ever talk about. You just get here and you do this. You at most in therapy, you'll be in Act 2 and Act 3 for the rest of your life. This is your annoying friend who's been in therapy for 10, 15 years and it's never really going anywhere. He's just doing this and probably doing both these things in a really poor way. Not talking about what he needs to talk about and not doing it in the correct way. Not talking about it in the correct way, so he just gets stuck here. But unless we take what we learn in our unconscious journey, unless the hero takes what he learns in Act 2 and Act 3 and brings it back to the original world, you're never really going to change. It's just not going to happen. It's not who we are. It's not how we change. If there's any confusion about this, please go read Hero with 1,000 Faces, learn about the monomyth. This is how we change. So we have to return what we talk about and how we talk about it to our original state, to our original problem. Whether that problem was with our parents, family members, friends, money, boss. You actually change how you talk with your boss by learning. By taking what you learn in the unconscious here, you change how you talk with your boss, and that's when the transformation truly comes to an end. But then what happens is you're back here at the beginning, and what goes on here at this point? Action. Now it's time to change a behavior. You're putting the voussoirs in and the arch. This is the keystone. This arch is upside down in a complete circle, but you understand. Here's the keystone. This is the action. This is the change in behavior. This is the change in thought. Without this, without learning what exactly to talk about, well, first separating, no longer being validated for your issue. Realizing that the issue is a reflection of this, all this. So learn what to talk about, how to talk about it, who to talk about it with. Eventually, only then can you come to the realization of what action you need to change, what thoughts need to change, what emotions need to change, and then what happens? You're back here in a new original state. There's going to be new, bigger, more impactful presenting problems, and you just go through the process again. This is how we change. This is how we grow. This is the exact process for doing it. And if you get stuck in 2 points, where are they going to be? Where do most people get stuck in therapy or in change? Yeah, that's right. You got it. Here and here. You never separate properly. You never realize the extent, the awesome power of unconscious processes going on and how they affect you outside of your conscious awareness. You never fully get in touch with this. Maybe a lot of people get it intellectually, but to really feel it to their marrow, doesn't really happen too much. And then the people getting stuck in here, like your annoying friend who's been in therapy for 15 years. He's clearly not going anywhere. He gets stuck in here. He never returns. He can never decide what to do or where to go next in his life in a proper way. Structure for therapy. This is how it works. Now, is this complete? No, this is probably not complete, but this is a really good start. And now on Animus Empire, we have a program, an online course to help you through this program. You can do therapy with me, that's great. But if you don't want to use me for therapy, I have a course to teach you how exactly to go through therapy. So you don't need a good therapist any longer to get good therapy. In fact, it's mostly material. I mean, it would be better with me because of my awesome insights, to be sure. But you don't need me. That's the idea. You learn how to do this specifically. You learn specifically how to separate. Now, your therapist or social worker, priest or rabbi probably isn't going to agree with how you think here, that's okay. You just go through with the course and do it on your own, and you will have huge realizations. I did this with my old therapist who he just had no clue what emotions were. Most therapists, most psychologists don't, right? But yeah, I did this with him, and I just had huge gains, just going to therapy for years, not really getting any better, and then almost automatically talking about certain things in a certain way, and then with certain people. And then the realizations I get from that and continuing to go through the process. It's been huge for me. I hope it's huge for you. animusempire.com/course. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee. If it's not helpful for you, I do not want to take your money. It'd be nice to get feedback why it wasn't helpful so I could improve it if there's any problems with the course at all. But risk-free for 30 days. If it doesn't work out, just email me back, and full refund of the money. And that's it for this week. The structure for change. If psychology is going to have a future, well, that's probably going to have a future as long as there's grant money. But if psychology is going to have a viable future, we need to break the process down in stages. And honestly, we don't have to be that smart to do it because Joseph Campbell already did with the monomyth. So now it's just about applying it to our lives, to the therapeutic process. And that's it for this week, guys. Thank you for watching. Again, go download the course, animusempire.com/course. You have nothing to lose, everything to gain. That's all for this week. And when it comes to change, always remember that there is a structure for how to do it.